How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Vancouver Canucks franchise mode here on NHL 24. Moving into episode number 30, the 2031 postseason here in year number 8. In the last one, we made a risky trade, which we'll get into in a moment, as at the halfway point of year number 8, we were just one win above 500, despite having 7 players on pace for 60 points or more. So it was really odd to see the defense was okay. Was it more the goaltending? We're winning by blowouts, but losing by close margins. In the end, we finished 11th place in the NHL with a record of an interesting 41, 27, and 14. Those 41 wins would tie for the second least amount of wins we've had through 8 years with the Canucks, but our 27 losses would also be the second least amount of losses we've had through 8 years with the Canucks. So it was really the 14 overtime or shootout losses that hurt us. Our power play percentage was okay at 24%, yep, third in the NHL, but our penalty kill was our worst through our 8 seasons, again with the Canucks, at 80.2%, closer to the bottom of the league than the top. So our worst ever penalty kill, our second worst amount of wins, but also our second best in terms of allowing the least amount of losses. Very weird season, and those 7 players who were on pace for 60 plus points did exactly that. From Pettersson all the way down to Tippett, all scoring above 60 points. All 6 of our top 6 forwards, plus the captain Quinn Hughes scoring 72. It was a great season. Frederick Lundqvist in his sophomore year after winning the Calder last year scores 50 goals. Okay, no problem. Aatu Räty, after having a bit of a slump down into the 40s this year, rockets his way back up. Räty rockets his way back to 65 points. Great. Markstrom took a big step back from being in the 90 or the low 90s to 63. So that's something we have to keep our eye on moving forward. I think it was mostly to do with the ice time, so I'm not super concerned, but we move on from there. The big trade, the risky one, ended up being it was 2 separate deals, starting with moving out Evan Bouchard to the Chicago Blackhawks. For all the reasons I went into last episode, it was time to move on from him. He wanted to move to a team, there weren't many, only 2, where there were buyers. They wanted a top pair defenseman, they could give him the ice time, and it made sense for the return. Columbus made sense for everything except for the return they could send us. Chicago had a good return for us, so we went ahead and pulled the trigger. And Evan Bouchard, since moving to the Blackhawks, after scoring 21 points in 38 games with us, which would have been a 45-point pace, the same that he had scored the year prior, with Chicago, he scored 29 points in 45 games, which would be a 53-point pace, not quite in the 60s, but still 53. But really what he was loving here in Chicago was the ice time, playing almost 25 minutes per night, while he was closer to 21 with us. Not like it was a huge difference, but if I'm Evan Bouchard, I'd rather play top pair minutes, top unit power play and all that, as opposed to having to be on the second pair and be more in the 40s when I know I could be in the 50s, even close to 60s. So Evan Bouchard moved out. We brought back some prospects, picks. It was a package deal, and we said, let's make a separate deal to replace Evan Bouchard on the second pair right D and go out to the Islanders. They had Dobson and Romanov on the block. We said, let's go and try to acquire Noah Dobson. In this universe, Noah Dobson is not the same player as he is in the real world NHL. In the simulation, he has been a 30, 40-ish point player, and the Islanders are going downhill. They're sellers. They want to move a lot of their top guys. Dobson had gone from being 54 points to 39 to 48 down to 32, and it was at an all-time low. As through 36 games to the Islanders this season, he had just 11 points, was a negative 13. So that would be a 25-point pace for the Islanders. He was not happy. The Islanders weren't happy. It was just not working out anymore. So we sent the Islanders a package of prospects. We acquired Dobson, and boom, 35 points in 40 games from Dobson, on pace for 72 over a full 82-game season, a plus 18 to boot, and we look at the ice time, he was playing even a little bit less than with the Islanders. So Noah Dobson, in that second pair role that Evan Bouchard was in, scoring much more. Maybe it has to do with the pressures, the expectations, who knows what, but 35 points in 40 games was a huge surprise. Anything over 40 would have been great, but to be on a 70-plus point pace, wow. So Noah Dobson, it was a risky trade, and it ended up working out for both sides, moving out Bouchard and moving in and bringing in Dobson, on top of some prospects, picks, and other things that went with the package. I think it was just win-wins all around. On top of that, closer to the deadline, we made a couple of other deals with the Penguins. First and foremost, bringing in Michael Rasmussen to play third-line center. He scored 6 goals and 10 points in 41 games, on pace for 20 points. Really nothing special at all, but he did help to settle things down defensively. I'd rather have Rasmussen Rasmussen on pace for 20 points, then Goldman on pace for 25 points, but Goldman has a much worse plus-minus. I can't trust him as much defensively. So Rasmussen, 10 points on pace for 20, playing just over 12 minutes per night. Not doing anything too crazy, but 6'6", the big 90 stick checking, the 4.5-star physical. He did what we brought him in to do. Will he come back next season? I don't know, but for now, I'm content. We made a separate deal with the Penguins to also bring in Chinnikov, as we weren't really happy with how the third-line scoring was going, but Colson and Barabanov on the wings of Rasmussen. We said, hey, let's bring in Chinnikov, a third-line sniper. Nothing too crazy from him either, but 4 goals, 7 points in 19 games. A 30-point pace, so okay, Chinnikov. And again, I don't know if he'll be back next season, playing just over 10 minutes per night. I don't know if he'll be back, but it was nice to bring in a little bit of a boost offensively. How much of a boost? We'll see, but it was better than what we were dealing with. As with these guys down here, Barabanov ended with 37, playing third-line wing, okay, but Colson at 24, Goldman at 30. He did better once moved to the fourth line. Ratu 16 and 48, etc., etc. Down the list we go here. So there are all the point totals from the year that was in year number 8. A lot of other quiet, good seasons like Mr. Consistency, Philip Hronik, another 40-plus point season, now 33 years of age. Always so consistent, 48, 43, 45, 44, 43. Playing big minutes as well, now back on that top pair with Quinn Hughes. Love us some Philip Hronik. The goaltending was also very interesting numbers-wise. Look at this. Hunter Jones and Ilya Leonov had very similar save percentages and goals against average, but Hunter Jones had 8 shutouts. 28, 16, and 9 was his record through 56 appearances. So 7 more shutouts than Leonov, yet his numbers were very similar. So it goes to show we were either having these big victories where we're shutting out the opponent, or it's as if we were getting blown out. We never really found much consistency anywhere aside from in our top 6. So all that being said, that's the season that was. We're heading into the 2031 postseason, facing the Edmonton Oilers. We've faced them 3 times already through our last 7 postseason runs, and we're 3-0 against them so far. Back in year number 3, we swept them in round number 2 on our road to the Stanley Cup Final. In year number 5, we beat them in 7, round number 1, in a big comeback series on our road to the Stanley Cup. And last year, in year number 7, we beat them in 5 in round number 2. On top of that, when we beat them in year number 3, we were a 41-win team who went on to the Stanley Cup Final. In year number 5, when we beat them, we were a 42-win team who went on to win the Stanley Cup. So we're once again a 41-win team. Maybe the stars are aligning again, win low 40 amount of games, face Edmonton, and you're guaranteed a deep run. I don't know. But last year we won 49, beat them in round number 2, then lost in Western Conference Final. So read into that what you will, but the fact is that the Oilers are a very different team here in 2031. Their top line, Bertuzzi, McDavid, and Yamamoto. Well, actually, if you look at the entire lineup, every forward is between 76 and 82 overall. Not a single forward 83 overall or more, aside from Connor McDavid, who's 34 years old, 92 overall as first-line center. So Bertuzzi, McDavid, Yamamoto on the first line, Krebs, Moore, and Bjorkstrand on the second, Steves, Colton, and San Francisco Starfleet legend Fabian Lysell on the third line, Nyes, Yarncrow, and Blais on the fourth. Defensively, they're definitely stronger, Chychrun and Pollock on the top pair, but they are older at 33 and 36 respectively. Second pair, Adam Yurchek and Jake Middleton. Third pair, Zach Whitecloud and Dante Fabro. So an older defensive core. And goaltending, this is where it might hurt them, or maybe it'll help them. Mackenzie Blackwood, 34 years old, 81 overall, Data 782 Hall of Famer. He'll be starting this series because their starter, Logan Thompson, is out until late May. So guaranteed he will not appear in this series. Mackenzie Blackwood, we know that what he can do in the postseason. He's had incredible runs for us in the past. On the year, he was 9-7-4 with a 900 save percentage, 3.31 goals against average. Hasn't played in the playoffs since 2028. Hasn't made an appearance since being with Philadelphia. His numbers haven't been pretty either through the years. His 8 appearances in his career in Sim. So you would think that it's a slam dunk victory on paper. 81 overall goalie, aging defensive core. Not a single forward over 82 overall aside from Connor McDavid, who he himself is also slowing down. 87-point season, okay. So, you know, everything's there for a slam dunk victory. But watch, Tyler Bertuzzi is going to score 6 goals in 4 games. Oliver Bjorkstrand is going to score a hat-trick in game 1. Yarncrow is going to be their top scorer through the series. We'll see. We'll see. I don't mean to speak negatively, but we know how things can be in Voodoo Land. But I still do have confidence in this team. Like we said, 7 62-plus point scorers at the end of the season. I don't think any of our lines loses to them, even 4th line versus 4th line. I think we win every matchup. Same thing on defense. Especially our top 4 defense has been incredible. Maybe the third pair is where there's a difference. Then goaltending, maybe you say Hunter Jones is a question mark, as he's also been up and down. 2 years ago, or should I say 3 years ago now, in 2028, on our road to the Stanley Cup, he had 8 shutouts in 16 wins, setting an NHL record. Then last year in the postseason, he was 1-2 with an .837 save percentage and 5.01 goals against average. So we'll see what happens. Which Hunter Jones shows up for us, we'll find out. So a bit of a longer intro to start this one because there wasn't too much to say from the assistant general managers in the last one. Just a couple of things we have to tweak, most notably the penalty kill. So diving into a couple of comments here, starting with Cheating Heel, who said, "Gotta love how things turned around and what an acquisition to bolster our defensive core. Didn't expect that kind of a jump in Dobson's offensive production with how he seemed to sim." We definitely need to tweak that penalty kill, but apart from that, things are looking good, and that's what most of the comments had to say. Let's hope we're not another casualty of EA voodoo, as on paper, we should be destroying the team we're facing. Their first line would be our third or fourth line, so it should be a mismatch, but we know how these things usually turn out. Let's step on their necks and make sure they can't get back up. Go Nucks. And then just looking at one more from Gavin, who said, "Now that's a big step forward. Another good second half for the team to clinch a playoff spot in a weak division, playing hopefully an easy team in the first round, presuming Blackwood doesn't have a .950 save percentage. I like what I see from the top 6. The defense adjusted well to the changes, and the goaltending is looking about as good as you can expect from EA. Despite only having 41 wins, I really think this team has a chance of going deep." Yes, those numbers are deceptive. When we look deeper, we see how strong this team really is. Also, that Dobson trade was incredible. I've never seen Dobson sim above 50 or so points, so it's great that you were able to unlock his full potential while moving out Bouchard and acquiring some good pieces. Rasmussen and Chinnikov were good moves on paper. Clearly, they don't sim too well, though. Goldman had a nice end to his season. Has he earned back that third-line center spot, or do we stick with the higher overall? Tough decisions. I trust that you will be able to fix the penalty kill as well, as we have some good defensive forwards, so it doesn't make sense, but that's EA, I guess. I would also move Barabanov to the fourth line for Podkolzin. Barabanov is getting power play time anyways, and we know what a monster playoff Podkolzin can be. I would think Jones is our starter as well, on a short leash if he keeps getting blown out. Other than that, the only thing I would change is taking Roney off of the AHL roster. He's just holding a spot for right now because we don't have a lot of high overall players. Congratulations on the house, and we appreciate all the content you're giving us. Take breaks if you need. That's all from me. I'll see you in the postseason. Go Nucks. Thank you, Gavin. Yes, I'd mentioned last episode that I'm in the final stages of purchasing a house, so if you ever want to send some donations to the house fund or the wedding fund, the link for the PayPal's in the description. I'm just kidding. So that's an exciting time. I won't be moving for quite a long time still. It's going to be sometime next year. But to say that I'm the owner, even though the previous owner would still be living there, renting from me, blah, blah, blah. Just to say steps are being taken, and it's an exciting time. So yes, when you think about the third line, I have already done it, but Colson will be promoted to play third line and Barabanov demoted to the fourth line. Not well, he's still playing power play. He's more that depth scoring touch that we looked at picking up in free agency. Ended up scoring 37 points. Could he have been better? Maybe, but we'll see what we can do in this upcoming offseason to get someone else. Because we'll have some openings in the bottom 6, but that's to discuss at the end of the episode when we're thinking about the offseason. Right now, it's the postseason. Vasily Podkolzin is a postseason animal. The last 2 postseason berths that we've had, he has scored 14 goals and 6 assists for 20 points in the last 39 games. He'll play third line with Rasmussen and Chinnikov, and hopefully that third line can find some scoring. Now, when it came to cleaning up the penalty kill, the units will look like this heading into the postseason. Just bringing Dobson up to the first unit, giving it a +4. On the second unit, Markstrom and Lundqvist with Peak and Hronek. Doesn't look that great on paper with the overalls, but Peak, he's big on the shot blocking, the stick checking, 92, 89 respectively. Lundqvist, yes, he's a sniper, but 4-star defense, 84 shot blocking, 89 stick checking, 4.5-star skating. Maybe that'll be helpful for us. And then on the third unit, it'll be Goldman, Rasmussen, Hanfin, and Bouillon with the +2. So fingers crossed for the pony kill to wake up a little bit here in the postseason after having just 80.2%, allowing goals 1 in every 5 chances against. So that's enough from me. Let's get this party started, ladies and gentlemen. After losing in the Western Conference Final last year, we are back in the postseason. We had a very good season, but like we said, the numbers are a little wonky. Will that work to our benefit as we now face Edmonton in round number 1? They went 39, 31, and 12. You saw their team on paper. They're beatable. We just got to keep doing what we've been doing well, hold them back, try to keep the voodoo from overpowering us, and that'll be round 1 in the books. That being said, this episode is about an hour 20 to an hour 50, maybe 2 hours long. Who knows? I always make it sometime different. Could be that we lose in round number 1 and it's just a black screen for about an hour. If that's the case, please do just let it run if you're able to. It'll help with the performance of the video. But I don't want the postseason to be spoiled with a short video, so you'll be reacting. Same with me as we go along. Sit back and relax for the year number 8 postseason, ladies and gentlemen, 2031. Game 1, round 1 at home, hosting the Oilers. We're 3-0 so far through 7 years against them. Let's make it 4. First period starts 1-1 after 20. Lekharmaki scores on the power play. Then Tyler Bertuzzi, the former Canuck, ties it up soon after. Shots are 14-10 for the Oilers through 20. Second period now, 3-2 Canucks. Quinn Hughes, the captain, puts us up. Matthew Knees on the power play ties it, but then Vasily Podkolzin, the playoff beast, gets his first, and we're up by 1. Shots are 25-21 for the Oilers, but we lead 3-2 thanks to Vasily Podkolzin. Lekharmaki scores his second to make it 4-2 now, and Chinakhov gets his first postseason goal as a Canuck. Power play Vancouver, extended opportunity, killed off by the Oilers. For Vancouver. Power play again, now power play Edmonton, killed off. Whew, sorry, that was a bit of a tongue twister. 5-2 Vancouver. Power plays on both sides got killed off for everybody. No power play goal scored in the third. Final 2 minutes up by 3, and that'll be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Winning the postseason opener at home by a score of 5-2. Shots end tied at 34. That was a lot of penalties back and forth. Yeah, just at different times. So it was minor. So we had 3 consecutive minor penalties on Edmonton's side. We couldn't capitalize on any of them. Then Lundqvist gets a hooking minor like halfway through that last one. But all right, we win it 5-2 the final. Chinakhov looked good getting that last one. Lekharmaki 2 goals. Jones makes 32 saves. And of course, Vasily Podkolzin scoring the game-winning goal. Who else but Vasily? Dominguez sprained ankle in the AHL, no problem. All right, so big win in game 1. Bit of a tight one in the first period, 2 periods, but we pulled away in the third. And of course, the game winner going to the man that we have found the most trust in through the last couple postseason runs. Game 2 now at home. Let's keep it up. No need to touch a thing. Let's try and have that same momentum carrying us through. Okay, Tom Goldman's going to score. Was that at the first shot or the second shot? Okay, the fourth line starting off and giving us setting the tone for the second game. First period ends 2-0. Quinn Hughes gets another. Now that'll be shots 11-10 in our favor. 2-0 through 20. Second period, 3-0. Frederick Lundqvist makes it 3-0. Shots are 24-23 for Edmonton, but we are outscoring them by a score line of 3-0. Power play Vancouver here. Early in actually about halfway through, power play Edmonton right back, killed off on both sides. Final 8 minutes now, we're being outshot, but Hunter Jones is holding it down, and Vasily Podkolzin! Oh my, Lundqvist gets his second as well. And that'll be a 5-0 final, ladies and gentlemen. 5-0's great, but that's 36 saves from Hunter Jones. Of course, we're not jinxing anything yet, but just to say, so good to see him start things off strong after his weak postseason last year when he lost the crease, but he's back. 36 saves shutout, 2 goals from Lundqvist, and Vasily Podkolzin with a goal and an assist. How does he do it? Playoff Podkolzin does it again. Another injury in the AHL, head coach replaced. The season's over down in the AHL. We ended, let's see, 43-24-5, and we're into the postseason. Tupkin, 55 points in 68 games. He should be in the NHL next year. All right, so we win both games at home, 5-2 and 5-0. Now we're on the road at Rogers Place in Edmonton, looking to take a 3-0 series lead. Podkolzin, Lundqvist, Lekharmaki, Hughes, all firing on all cylinders. I'd love to see some Tippett, some Markstrom, some Pettersson. Let's do it. First period, 0-0 after 20. Shots 9-8 for Vancouver. Second period now, 2-1 Oilers, their first lead through 2 periods. Chychrun opens it up, then Pettersson answers the call to tie it, but Oliver Moore gives Edmonton the 2-1 lead headed into the third period. Shots are 20-17 for Edmonton. Here on the road, down by 1, power play Vancouver early in the third, and Owen Tippett scores just as it expires. Pettersson and Tippett both answer the call, and we're tied up at 2 into the final 10 minutes of the third period. Next goal might be the winner, and here's Bjorkstrand making it 3-2. Can we answer in the final 5 minutes? And yes, we can! Frederick Lundqvist, the 50-goal scorer. 2 minutes to go. Will we see any late heroics? Yes, from Adam Jiricek! No! Oh, 19 seconds from overtime, and Jiricek wins it at home for the Oilers. Oh, no. Shots end 31-28, and we dropped that one by a score of 4-3. Lundqvist a goal and 2 assists. Pettersson a goal and an assist. Oh, man. What were the plus-minuses in this one? A bunch of just negative ones from a spread throughout the lineup. Oh, too bad. 4-3 loss. That close to pushing overtime and possibly having a 3-0 series lead. Lundqvist, 6 points in 3 games. All right, in the AHL, in round number 1, we're facing the Ontario Reign. All right, great. Looking good. We'll see what they can do there. And we're going to keep rolling through to game number 4 on the road against the Oilers, looking to take a 3-1 series lead back to Vancouver and end it in game 5. Don't let them crawl back into the series, make it a best of 3. We know that we have been and can continue to be the better team, so let's do exactly that. First period, early power play, 2-0, no power play goal, but Barabanov opens it up with his first postseason goal as a Canuck, then Owen Tippett with his second goal in as many games. Shots 18-5. We're angry through the first period, and we're up 2-0. More than tripling the shots. Ratu gets his first, 3-0, and after the second it ends 4-2. Connor McDavid, he's been quiet here in game 4, scoring his first goal of the series on the power play to make it 3-1. Lundqvist makes it 4-2 with his 7th point in 4 games. Maybe even more if he had an assist earlier on. Then Matthew Nyes gets one to bring it within 2. Shots are close to triple in our favor, 32-13, but it's a 4-2 game. Power play Vancouver early, and it's Ratu on the 5-on-3 power play. Still have the 5-on-4, that's killed off by the Oilers. And Frederick Lundqvist, he's really coming into his own. And Vasily Podkolzin, don't forget about me, he says. 7-2 Canucks. The extra point is good, and that should be enough for the victory. Still more than doubling the shots. Power play Edmonton, and then Michael Rasmussen on Shield, who's in for Blackwood. His first postseason goal as a Canuck. 8-2 Vancouver, the final. Shots end way more than double, 47-20. And we win it by a large margin. 2 goals and assists from Lundqvist, 2 goals from Ratu, and of course, 3rd-star honors for the 3rd time to put goals in through 4 games with a goal and an assist. 5 goals and 9 points from the 50-goal sophomore Frederick Lundqvist. And we have a 3-1 series lead headed back home to end it in game 5. No need to stop the train. Let's keep on chugging. Let's do it at home after that huge victory. Let's keep the momentum. First period at home for Game 5, and Elias Pettersson scores shorthanded to put us up 1-0. Elias Pettersson scores on the first shot of the second. That's his 2nd goal of this one. First multi-goal game of the postseason. Lekar-Mackey makes it 3, and the period ends 4-0. Quinn Hughes on the power play. That should be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. 20 minutes away from punching our ticket to round number 2. Fabian Lysell, of course, if anyone was going to score late, it was going to be Fabian. We know how good he has been in our San Francisco Starfleet franchise mode, live on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern here on the channel. Up by 3, 4-1 Canucks into the final 5 minutes. We're being outshot, but Hunter Jones is holding it down. Great performance from him when it was needed tonight. And that'll be enough for the victory, ladies and gentlemen. 4-1 Canucks the final. Despite being outshot 38-27, Hunter Jones, 2nd star with 37 saves. Elias Pettersson, 2 goals and 2 assists. That's what we need from the franchise cornerstone. And Jonathan Lekar-Mackey with a goal and an assist. We are through, my friends, to round number 2. We now officially have a 4-0 record through 8 postseason berths, or should I say through 8 seasons, 7 postseason berths. Then when I said 7 postseason berths before, I should have said 6 through 7 seasons. I digress. We are victorious over the Oilers once again, this time in a 5-game series. Let's break it all down. Pettersson averaged over 2 points per game with 11 in 5. Lundqvist averaging 2 points per game with 10 in 5. Lekar-Mackey 7. Hughes, Podkolzin, and Hronek all point per game with 5 and 5. Ratu, Rasmussen, Dobson, Markstrom all with 3 points. Tippett, Chinnikov, Barabanov, Goldman with 2. Hanifin, Peak, Bouillon with 1. Only the Atu's brother Aku with no points through 5 games, but he's playing, yeah, he's all right, 841 per night. And Hunter Jones, 4-1 with a shutout, 943 save percentage, 1.8 goals against average. We know how good Hunter Jones can be, and after he was embarrassed last year, he has come back with a vengeance in 2031. Alrighty, let's get some well-deserved rest now, my friends. Eat well, train hard, and we'll see what comes our way for round number 2. Alright, so for round number 2, we will be facing the Calgary Flames. Alright, this will be the first time that we face Calgary through our entire series with the Canucks so far. I'm surprised we haven't faced them yet. An all-Canadian matchup here. British Columbia versus Alberta. Calgary took down the Nashville Predators, who just won the Stanley Cup a couple years ago. They took them down in a 6-game first round, yes. So now it'll be Vancouver versus Calgary, and the winner will face Chicago or Arizona / Utah. there in the Western Conference Final. Okay, so the Flames went 44, 27, and 11 on the season. They ended the year 7-0-3 and took that into the postseason where they won in 6 games against a good Nashville squad. Let's see who's here in Calgary for the first time that we face them. This first line, Timu Pirala, who was drafted 12th overall. I love seeing guys who aren't always just first overall. 12th overall pick in 2024. He's a 91 overall two-way forward. My goodness. Centered by Elias Lindholm at an 84, and Brad Bartkowski, 3rd overall pick in 2027, 5-star shooting sniper on that first line. So Pirala, Lindholm, Bartkowski on the first. Russ Greening, the 1st overall pick in 2030 on the second line with Adrian Kempe and Matt Coronado. Third line, Zubé, who wouldn't even be in the NHL anymore, Hanzik and Alex Tuck. And the 4th line is Graham Clark, Christian Dvorak, and Jonathan Huberdeau down at an 83 overall. He still has, let's say, the final year of that big contract. There you go. On defense, Mikael Lindholm, 2nd round pick in 2024. All right. Paired up with Erasmus Anderson. 2nd pair, Lassie Thompson with Shea Theodore. And 3rd pair, Mike Matheson with Alexandre Carrier. Goaltending, it's Dustin Wolf at an 85 overall, backed up by Joseph Wall at an 81. No injuries and no one crazy, I would say, here in the depth for their healthy scratches. All right, so Pirala has 5 goals, 8 points in 6 games. What else? We see 4 goals, 10 points from Bartkowski. Kempe, that second line not doing well plus-minus wise. Third line, 6 points from Hanzik in 6 games. Same for Tuck, 6 and 6. So. Okay. 21 penalty minutes from Lindholm. What's his discipline here? Interesting. 85 discipline, but okay. Anderson, 4 assists. Plus-minuses aren't great. And the goaltending from Dustin Wolf hasn't been stellar either. 891 save percentage from him. 3.83 goals against average. So I don't know, maybe Nashville just wasn't that good, or it's that those point, a few of those, couple of those, or it's just a few of those point per game players who are carrying them through. But I wouldn't say Calgary is scary anywhere in one place in particular. In one, like Greening is scary for sure. Bartkowski looks scary for sure. But there's no one line, I guess maybe aside from the first line, that really makes me scared. Third line, so-so, but I think that we have them on paper. As always, the game is not played on paper. But I like how we match up against them. And hopefully, Hunter Jones can stay as strong and Dustin Wolf can stay as weak. So we're on the road. We do not have a home ice advantage here. We're starting it off at the Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary for Game 1 of Round 2 of year number 8. Let's hit it, gentlemen. First period starts off 1-1. Matt Coronado opens up the scoring, and then Akuratu, the last player in the lineup without a point in round number 1, he gets it early in round number 2. 1-1 after 20, being outshot 13-8. Aku. Second period, 3-1 Calgary. Bartkowski and Kempe. There you go. 24-17 are the shots for Calgary, and we're down by 2 after 40. We got to get back into this one early. Dustin Wolf and his 8-something save percentage. Power play Vancouver killed off. Power play Calgary killed off. Still down. Oh, power play Calgary again at the halfway point of the period. We kill it off once more. Under 8 to go. Still down by 2. We need some late heroics from our top 6, but Dustin Wolf is shutting the door. I'm not getting many shots on net either. Late power play won't be enough, and we lose this one. 3-1 the final. No scoring in the third as we get outshot 38-28. Dustin Wolf makes 27 saves, and that'll be enough to close it down. All right, so we lose 3-1 to open up the series. Not a great start, especially scoring only 1 goal, getting under 30 shots as well. We got to make sure that we're testing Dustin Wolf as much as possible. Not the time to mix up the lines just yet, but we're always going to keep an eye on that. Down in the AHL, we lost in 5 games against Ontario. Okay, so we're eliminated down in Abbotsford. And now here we go. Let's keep it rolling for Game 2. We're rolling through this postseason episode rather quickly. The team is doing well. I don't think there's anything to really tweak just yet, but maybe that'll change after Game 2 on the road. Let's see how we respond to a loss after we score only 1. Game 2, and Coronado scores the first shot. But then Podkolzin scores on our first shot. It's 1-1 with 1 shot apiece. Thank you, Podkolzin, for getting us back into it. First period ends 1-1. There's the clutch gene that he always loves to show off. Shots 13-7 through 20, and we're tied. Second period, 3-2 game. Lindholm scores to make it 2-1. Then Tippett ties it up, and Aturatu gives us the lead. 3-2 Vancouver, shots 26-15. after 40. Up by 1 here in the third period. We need to add to this ASAP. But Alex Tuck, who was point per game in round 1, ties it at 3 with about 10 minutes to go now. We're leading in the shots, but it's all going to come down to this. Next goal might be the winner, or will we see overtime for the first time this postseason? Final 3 minutes. Power play, Vancouver late! Killed off by the Flames, and we're headed to overtime. What a huge penalty kill. Shots end 33-27, and we're off to overtime. Overtime here in Calgary. A goal for Vancouver ties this series up at 1, headed to Vancouver for Game 3, making the best of 5. But a goal for Calgary gives me a 2-0 series lead, taking both at home. Let's just quickly pause, as always, make sure the shooting sliders are up. You always want to go to edit lines, edit the strategies, and make sure that the lines are not cycling so much and the AI is not trying to pass the puck when they have wide open nets. Let's try to make sure that the shooting slider tendency, whatever you want to call it, is as high as possible. All right, there we go. Markstrom over the blue line now. Markstrom finds space, gets it on net. Good pad save from Wolf. Now the point is Hronik. Back to Hughes from the top, and that's not going to make it through traffic. Defensive zone draw from Michael Rasmussen, who wins that back to Hanifin, the former Calgary Flame, of course. He's been with us for what now? Like, is it 6? Is it 7 years? And there we go. We draw. It's a Podkolzin. There he is, who draws the tripping penalty, and we're off to the power play. Russ Greening, 2 for tripping. Power play for us now. Offensive zone draw for Pettersson. We're 0 for 2 with 0 shots on power play tonight. Tip it. Hughes. Lundqvist gets the first shot, and Wolf makes the glove save. Here's Dobson skating up with it. Noah Dobson, new confidence with his 72-point pace. Stops up, gives it over to Hughes. Big save from Wolf in tight. Offensive zone draw for Markstrom now. Second unit out. Markstrom wins it back to the point. Barabanov, glove save, Wolf. Dvorak, woo, splits the D, just skates straight through. Oh my goodness, that was way too close for comfort. Back of the way now comes Lekaramaki. Minute 10 left in the power play. Lekaramaki using the body to shield the puck, gets around the net. Markstrom in front, nobody's home. Hronik down low to Ratu. Ratu skates in from a short angle, that's stopped by Wolf. Back to Lundqvist. He finds a way to get the puck back on his own stick. In tight, couple of chances scrambling in the slot. A penalty coming up as well. It's going to be a 5-on-3, let's go! Huge chance here, as it's going to be 2 for slashing to Lassie Thompson. Now that was a mad scramble in front, as Lundqvist lost the puck, got it back on his stick, couple shots in tight. And a slash here from Lassie. Don't see it. Maybe you saw it. I didn't. But here we go with a 5-on-3 power play for the next 18 seconds, I believe. And we'll have a great chance here. Overtime shots 9-1 in our favor. Pettersson on the dot. Loses it to Dvorak. Matheson can't clear it though. Pettersson. Hughes to tip it back to Hughes. Get a shot off. Pettersson scores! Elias Pettersson is 4th of the postseason. And Vancouver wins it in overtime thanks to the 5-on-3 power play opportunity. Tying this series up at 1. Splitting the games on the road and headed back to Vancouver to make this series a best of 5. Elias Pettersson ending it in overtime. So the puck to Hughes, then Pettersson through a couple bodies. I think, did that go through right in between Lundqvist's legs even? Wolf didn't have the best chance to see it. And there you have it, his 4th of the postseason is the winner. Shots ended 43-28 in our favor in that one as we come away with the victory. Headed back home now to Vancouver. Pettersson 12 points in 7 games, leading by example. And now we're back at Rogers Arena, home sweet home for Game 3 of Round 2. Looking to take the lead in this series as we continue to roll along. First period, 2-1 Canucks early. Pettersson picking up where he left off to make it 1-0 just a minute and 57 seconds in. Then Noah Hanifin shortly after that, getting the goal against his old team to make it 2-0, but Huberdeau cuts the lead to 1 shot, 16-9 through 20 in our favor. Second period action starting off the power play, and it's Lekaramaki on the power play, make it 3-1, and the period ends 4-2. Pettersson getting his second. He's heating up. Then Alex Tuck makes it a 2-goal game. Shots 30-19 in our favor, and we're up 4-2 here in the third period, looking to win it at home and take the first lead in this series. Power play goal from Lundqvist, making it a 3-goal lead. Power play again for Vancouver. Power play Calgary now, as that's killed off. Then they have their own opportunity. That's killed off by us now. Good addition to our penalty kill so far, I think. Lassie Thompson makes it 5-3. Power play Calgary. That's killed off. Could have been a huge chance for them to get back in this game as they're only down by 2. Power play Vancouver killed off as well. Ratu adds the empty netter, and we win this one at home 6-3, outshooting Calgary 45-29 to take a 2-1 series lead. Pettersson 2 goals and an assist, Hanifin a goal and an assist, and Ratu with the goal. Didn't he score the empty netter? I get some 3rd star. Okay, we take the lead in the series for the first time. After losing game 1, we win games 2 and 3. Elias Pettersson, 15 points in 8 games, still close to averaging 2 points per game. He has been incredible. I know there's no reason to really stop right now, but just to quickly take a peek on how things are looking plus-minus wise. Do we see any line really standing out? +8, +10, +6 on the first, +2, 0, +4 on the second, +2, +4, +2 on the third, then 0, 0, 0 on the fourth. Okay, but they're not really being a liability, so that's good as well. +5, +7 first D pair, +3, +1 second D pair, +6, +4. There you go, from Bouillon and Peak on the third D pair. Thank you. And Hunter Jones at a 929 save percentage. Yep, no reason to stop anything right now. Let's keep this rolling into game number 4 at home to possibly take a 3-1 series lead. Wouldn't that be something? After that initial loss, we thought, what kind of series might we have? But it's not done yet. This could be a big game from Calgary to tie to 2 and make it a best of 3 headed back home to the Saddle Dome. First period in Vancouver, 2-0 Canucks early. That's a huge start to this one. Markstrom makes it 1-0 to start it off, and then Lundqvist adds another just a couple minutes later. 2-0 Canucks after 20. Love to see that. Second period now at home in front of the fans, and it's 3-0 after 40. Elias Pettersson, let's go! Keeping up that pace. He has been our rock through the postseason so far. Shots close to double, 28-15. And power play goal, Pettersson. Just as I heap some praise on him, we pour some more flowers. Power play goal from Lundqvist, and that'll be all for this one. 5-0 with 15 to go. Calgary won't be able to get back. Power play Flames killed off. Power play Canucks to make it 6. Extended opportunity for the Canucks, killed off by Calgary. And after they won game 1 in a pretty impressive fashion, only allowing 1 goal, they have now lost 3 consecutive, and it's a 26-save shutout from Hunter Jones. Oh boy, 2 goals and assists from both Pettersson and Lundqvist. 4 assist night, 4 apples from the captain. That gives him a few days without the doctor, and that'll give us a 3-1 series lead. 4-3, 6-3, and 5-0. Since losing 3-1 in Game 1, we have outscored the Flames 15-6. Heading into Game 5 in Calgary with a chance to end it just like in Round 1 in 5 games. Meanwhile, the Coyotes are up 3-1 over the Blackhawks. What a date that would be with Bouchard and the Hawks. But the Coyotes might have a chance to end it there in the second round. In the East, Hurricanes up 3-1 over the Blue Jackets, and the Bruins and Senators are tied 2 games apiece. All right, here we go with a chance to end it off. Pettersson averaging 2 points per game, 18 points in 9 games. Let's see if we can do it on the road in Calgary. We'll have 3 chances to do it. May as well get it done ASAP. First period, 0-0 after 20, but the shots are almost triple in our favor, 14-5. Second period, and it's 3-0 Vancouver. That might be enough. 3 power play goals. Our power play has been incredible, not just in the postseason, but especially in this round against Calgary. Chinnikov, Lekaramaki, and Ratu, 3 power play goals in 1 minute and 50 seconds. Was it the same penalty? What was it here? It was, whoa. So tripping minor, hooking minor canceled out, but then hooking minor, high-sticking minor, tripping minor, whoa. What a ton of penalties from the Flames. Terrible, terrible, just killing themselves. 3-0 Canucks now with a chance to end it in the third period on the road in Calgary, Alberta, in an all-Canadian matchup. Lots of Canucks fans in attendance. Bartkowski scores on the power play to make it a 2-goal game. The Flames have life, but the Canucks are back on the power play, this time killed off by the Flames. Shots double in our favor, just about 40-20. There it is. Carrier makes it a 1-goal game, though. 2 minutes to go for the Flames season on the line, but the Canucks hang on for the 3-2 victory, and they are off in back-to-back seasons to the Western Conference Final. Shots end 42-24, and we hang on for the 3-2 victory. Ratu with a goal and 2 assists to get first star honors. What a series. A bit shaky in Game 1, but we take the Flames down in 5 games in a gentleman's sweep, 4-1. Pushing ourselves through to the Western Conference Final for the 5th time through our 7 postseason berths with the Vancouver Canucks so far. That's really something. 5 Western Conference Finals or more through our 7 postseason berths with Vancouver through 8 years. The trend has been, after a Western Conference Final loss, we make it to the Stanley Cup Final. That's what it was in years 2 and 3. Now, through years 7 and 8, can it be the same thing as we lost last year in the Western Conference Final? Now, in the next year, can we make it to the Stanley Cup Final? Through 10 games, Elias Pettersson has 18 points. Wow. Lundqvist also 8 goals, but 14 points from the sophomore, 19-year-old Frederick Lundqvist. Hughes with 11 and 10. Lekaramaki point per game. Ratu 5 goals, 9 points. Podkolzin with 8 points in 10 games, shooting at 18.2%. Markstrom with 8. He scored his first goal of the postseason in this series. Tippett, Rasmussen with 6. Dobson, Hronik with 5. Chinnikov, Barabanov with 4. Hannafin, Goldman, Bouillon with 3. And Ratu Peak both 1 point apiece. Hunter Jones is 8 and 2 with 2 shutouts, a .934 save percentage, and 2 goals against average through 10 games. 10 starts even, I should say, in the postseason. 5 games in round 1, 5 games in round 2. Let's do the same thing and rest up, gentlemen. Hopefully in the East, one of these 3-2 series can go to 7. Will we be facing the Blackhawks or the Coyotes in the Western Conference Final? We'll find out in a few days. So once again, let's rest up, eat well, train hard, and get ready for another Western Conference Final. So here we go for the year number 8, 2031 Western Conference Final. We will be facing the Arizona Coyotes. Wow, for the first time in this entire franchise mode series, we faced the Coyotes, now over in Utah. They ended 48, 28, and 6 on the season. Boston versus Carolina over in the Eastern Conference Final. I'm not going to say it, but if you're thinking storylines... Now, the Coyotes in round number 1, they took down the Avalanche. Whoa! They took down, was it the President's Trophy winning Avalanche in 7 games? Then they took down the Blackhawks in 6, and now they face us in the Western Conference Final. Yeah, the Avalanche, I believe they did win the President's Trophy, right? No, they finished 5th, actually. No, my apologies. So they took down the 5th place Avalanche and the 3rd place Blackhawks. Now they're facing us. The Devils won the President's Trophy, and they're gone. So the last teams remaining, all top 5 teams are gone. It's the 6th place Coyotes, the 8th place Bruins, the 11th place Canucks, and the 12th place Hurricanes. The 4 teams that are left here in the postseason. Alrighty, let's check out their lineup. I'm very curious to see how they look. It would have been fun to face Bouchard and the Blackhawks, but they lose in 6 games to the Coyotes. We had faced the Blackhawks 2 times before, once in year 1 when we lost, once in year 2 when we won. We haven't seen them since. So the Arizona Coyotes, aka the Utah Yetis, whatever you want to call them. Let's check out this lineup. Whoa, look at the X Factors in here. Oh my goodness, is this a deep lineup. Matthew Tkachuk, 95 overall, 9 goals, 16 points in 13 games. Logan Cooley, first-line center, 4 goals, 16 points in 13 games. And Clayton Keller, 89 overall, 3 goals, 15 points in 13 games. On the second line is Daniil Boot with Gabe Vilardi and Ivan Demidov. 7th overall pick in 2024, 5 goals, 16 points from him. Vilardi with 10 points, and Daniil Boot, first-round pick in 2023. Obviously created player here. 9 goals, 14 points in 13 games. Dylan Guenther with 5 goals, 10 points, 87 overall. Morgan Frost, 87 overall, 12 points in 13 games. Solomon Wierkoch, 2nd overall pick in 2030, 6 goals, 8 points for him. 4th line, Malcolm Spence, 85 overall. Oliver Kapanen, 2 points in 4 games. And Ty Voigt, a goal and 4 assists. Wow. Very deep lineup with great scoring throughout. On defense, where's their weakness here? Simon Edvinsson with Jordan Spence, Dmitry Simashev with Marcus Pettersson. Oh, here's where they're struggling, because Lucas Cormier is a third-pair defenseman, obviously. But Jesperi Kotkaniemi playing defense right now, as they have an injury to Hampus Lindholm. So Hampus Lindholm out. We'll see for how long. They don't have another defenseman called for some reason. So Kotkaniemi playing defense with Lucas Cormier on that third pair. Hopefully we can somehow take advantage of that. The defense, aside from that, nothing crazy. Edvinsson, 3 assists, -6. Jordan Spence, 9 points, -9. So maybe we can take advantage of that first pair defense. Even though it might be a high-scoring affair on both sides, if we can take advantage of that first pair defense, that would go a long way. And goaltending, it's Igor Shesterkin, 90 overall. But 898 save percentage and 3.3 goals against average. Crazy. Look at the last few years of numbers. 872, 881, 898. Classic EA for a 90 overall goalie. Sad. Very sad. He's 8-4-1 with 1 shutout, though. In the regular season, he had a 900 save percentage. So sad. So sad. Last year of his contract backed up by Alex Nedeljkovic. So there you go. How long is Hampus Lindholm out? That might be a question that we're interested in, but at the end of the day, it's still their top, especially their top 9, that we are very afraid of. So Arizona, Lindholm out till June 3rd, so definitely out for the entire series with a concussion. So that could be a place where we take advantage of the Coyotes. Also, just to check out the numbers of the top 4 remaining teams, we played 3 less games than the Coyotes, so that's good news for us. We have the most goals scored for at 4.4, goals against at 2, by far the best, as all 3 of the other teams are above 3 goals against. That's great news for us. Power play at 30.6%, the best of the remaining 4, and the penalty kill at 88%, which is second best. Just the Coyotes, though, at 89.7, so the best power play against the best penalty kill. But they do allow 3.54 goals against per game, and we're scoring 4.4. So it's, I mean, offense versus a defense kind of series, but the Coyotes still have a lot of good offense on their side as well. So we'll call them the Arizona Coyotes for this series, even though they might be Utah by now. Maybe the team got reactivated, and there is a team back in Arizona by 2031. But let's start it off here at Arizona Arena, a.k.a. Mullet Arena, for Game 1 of Round 3, the Western Conference Final here in 2031. After winning rounds 1 and 2 in 5 games apiece, let's see what we can do in round number 3, looking to make our way back to the Stanley Cup Final. First period, and it's 1-1 after 20. Frederick Lundqvist scores 16 seconds in, but then Daniil But scores with 18 seconds left in the first period, so the bookends there. 10-7 of the shots in our favor through 20, 1-1 score. Second period, 2-2, goal apiece once again as Ratu scores on the power play. Great to see. Then Logan Cooley scoring even strength. Shots 22-14 through 40, but it's going to come down to the third and final period here of game number 1. Next goal might be huge as Michael Rasmussen with just his second, I believe, right? Making it 3-2, and Elias Pettersson on the power play against Nedeljkovic. Shesterkin pulled after allowing 3 on 26 or 27, and Nedeljkovic allows a goal on one of the first or second shots he sees. Then Lekkerimaki makes it 5-2. You would think that's due to injury, and thanks to that, I'd say largely in part thanks to that, we win this one 6-2 the final. Oh my, shots end 36-23. From a 2-2 game, we scored 4 unanswered, and we win 6-2 the final. Wow. Things really blew up fast there for the Coyotes. Let's see this one. I'm just curious. No, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong side. We had a few negatives, though. I'm looking at the Coyotes here for their goalies. Yes, that's what I want to see. So Shesterkin allowed 3 on 26, but then Nedeljkovic comes in and allows 3 on 10. So neither did great, but you would think Shesterkin was pulled due to injury. Sorry, I forgot to check the 3 stars in this one. But great start. Why would it go to edit lines? Okay, thank you. Injury report. So great start. Let's see. Did the Coyotes have an injury here to report to Shesterkin, or was it just a one-game thing? Yes. All right, so Shesterkin should be back and starting. Maybe it was pulled due to performance. Maybe the coach had some sort of thought in mind. But we win this one on the road, 6-2 the final. Headed into Game 2 with a 1-0 series lead, and that huge third period will hopefully give us momentum carrying into this next game. Once again, still on the road, and we'd love to have a 2-0 series lead headed back to Vancouver. First period starts 2-1 Coyotes as Ratu opens up the scoring, but then Demidov and Simashev put the Coyotes up 2-1, outshooting us 11-10 as well. Second period, 3-2 Canucks, big comeback as Filip Hronek scores his first goal of the postseason, Mr. Consistent, and Markstrom with his second of the postseason, I believe, makes it 3-2 Canucks. So down 2-1 to up 3-2, outshooting the Coyotes 27-19. We have a 1-goal lead here in the third. Power play Coyotes early, killed off. Power play Canucks now. Can we answer back? No, both are killed off as we approach the halfway point. Power play Vancouver again, killed off once more. Final 8 minutes, and Marcus Pettersson ties it at 3. Final 5 minutes, will we see a hero or will there be overtime? In the final 2 minutes, next goal is going to be the winner, and we're off to overtime. Shots end 39-26, but Marcus Pettersson scores with 8:41 to go to push this one to overtime. Overtime in Game 2, just like in Game 2 against the Flames, but this time we're up 1-0. A goal for us gives us a 2-0 series headed back to Vancouver, but a goal for the Coyotes will tie the series at 1 and make it a best of 5. Back to Hannafin at the point. Now here's Dobson. Dobson finds his way through traffic, but it's a glove save, Shesterkin. Lardy over the blue line, across to Demidov with lots of space. Nice kick save from Jones, who just stuck the leg out there. Looking to stand strong in front, and that's going to be a penalty to Vancouver. What was that? That was Peak and Bouillon, that third D pair I was just talking about. One of them took a penalty. It's Andrew Peak. Great. So Peak's going to take a penalty. We're off to the penalty kill, as he's going to get 2 for slashing. Time to retire Peak, says the the sign on the penalty box. Yeah, a little slash there, and that'll be a power play for the Coyotes. Spence over the blue line, finding some space, gets it on net, saved by Hunter Jones. Over to Gunther, can't quite get the shot off. Keller, that's stopped in tight. Behind the net now with Hannafin. Hannafin comes away with it. Bouillon fighting, low on energy. Kachuk broken up by Goldman. Great defensive play, and he'll clear it out. Penalty coming up here. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I didn't quite catch that. Penalty coming up for the Coyotes. Pedersen still has it in tight. That's stopped by Shesterkin. Here comes a 4-on-4 for 1 second. Then a minute 59 power play. 2 for interference. I didn't even catch what happened there to Booth. He'll be gone for 2 minutes here. Okay, push down Hughes. Okay. Maybe a bit of a soft postseason penalty, but still. 4-on-4 for 1 second, then a power play opportunity on our side. And you know what? I forgot to change the slider. I guess it was an okay thing for killing the penalty. But now that we're going to be on the power play, let's make sure that we get the shooting slider back up. And actually, those are even strength lines. We're about to be on the power play, so maybe it doesn't even apply. But just in case for moving forward afterwards. Markstrom pushes. Karamaki down to Hughes. Down in front, redirection. Good set play. And now we'll be on the power play for the next minute 50 or so from this point. Minute 34 on the power play. Offensive zone draw for Pedersen. We're 0 for 6 on the power play with 6 shots tonight. One-timer from Tippett is swallowed up by Shesterkin. Final seconds of the power play. Not much getting generated here, unfortunately. 10 seconds to go. One last charge maybe in us. Markstrom up to Karamaki. Here we go. 3-on-2. Karamaki stops up. Markstrom with space in tight. Big save, Shesterkin, as he stuck with it. That's a great save. Those usually go in EA. Oh, great save by Shesterkin, sticking with Markstrom. And that'll be back to even strength now. Third line will come out. We have the sliders up. Here we go. Great chance for us. Let's try and build on it. Rasmussen. Booyah! That's a great rebound chance, but it's cleared up by Marcus Pedersen. Getting double teamed. Slips by both Goldman to Lundqvist. Stopped by Shesterkin. Double teamed. Gets it to Weirkoch in front, and Jones will hang on. Aturatu skating in. Stopping up, looking for a chance. In front, Tippett's shot can't quite get through. And there'll be a power play coming up now. Is that why the shot couldn't go? A slash on Tippett, was that it? As Simashev will get 2 for slashing. Furious in the box. They're never happy in the box. It's always a water bottle getting smashed or something. Simashev, no, he slashed Ratu, actually. Okay, but we'll take the power play regardless. Dobson, who's in tight, to the point for some unknown reason. Dobson's shot in front goes wide, and now a power play coming up again, and be a 5-on-3! A huge 5-on-3 chance for a minute 44 coming up, as it's going to be Voigt, 2 for slashing. The last time we got a win in overtime, it was that big 5-on-3 chance that gave it to us. Hopefully it'll be the same thing. I'm not sure where the slash was. Maybe you saw it. I didn't again. But we will once again have a 5-on-3 power play chance in overtime. This time with a minute 44. Pedersen. Marcus Pedersen in the corner. Tippett gets it away from him. Cutting in. Short angle save from Shesterkin. Where is everybody? Come on. 5-on-3. Pedersen in front. That's broken up by Spence. We'll go for a change now. Philip Hronik. One-timer, and Shesterkin swallows that up. What are the shots at this point? 66-36. Oh my goodness. Igor Shesterkin, what a performance, and we are out. We have 30 more shots than the Coyotes, but we're still tied here in overtime. 29 seconds going to 5-on-3. Still have a great chance to do it with 30 more seconds. Markstrom wins the faceoff back. Hronik from the point, blocker save from Igor. Over to Markstrom, the Silver Surfer. Over to Hronik, Ratu, Hronik! Couple of shots in tight, but Igor makes the saves. And now here come the Coyotes the other way. They kill off a huge, extended 5-on-3 opportunity. In the corner now, behind the net. No one picks up that pass. Frost over to Voigt out of the box. Frost on net, save from Hunter. Don't tell me we're going to have 30 more shots and the first shot against is going to go in. So thankfully he makes the save. Down low to Lundqvist. Now here's Hughes at the point to Hronik. Pedersen scores! Elias Pedersen! The Canucks win in overtime! Oh, Igor Shesterkin left and hung out to dry. As the Canucks get on what, like their 70th shot of the night? That's a lot of shots for an EA sim. Very rare to see that many between the slow sim and the in-game, whatever it might be. As Pedersen is once again the overtime hero. This was a bit of a trickler, eh? Thanks for the replay. Terrible. Can I see the goal, please? There we go. On net. Got a piece of it, then kind of just trickled its way in. Took a one-hop over, hit the pad, then hopped its way into the net. Shots in this one ended 72-37. 72-37. Markstrom third star with a goal and 2 assists. Or sorry, second star. And Igor makes 68 saves for a 944 save percentage. He allows 4 on 72, and even that's not enough, making 68 saves. As the Canucks win a wild and very long, I'll say, overtime Game 2 to go up 2-0 in this series. Shesterkin giving the Coyotes the best chance they could, but they barely got anything generated. Hunter Jones was solid as well, and the Canucks win 4-3. So Pettersson's second overtime game winner ended up being his 10th goal through 12 games. He's been incredible, 21 points from EP40. And now we bring the series back to Rogers Arena in Vancouver. A big 6-2 win in Game 1, a tight 4-3 squeaker after we had to take over 70 shots in Game 2. Let's see what Shesterkin we face in Game 3 with home ice advantage and a 2-0 series lead after winning both games on the road. First period of Game 3, 2-1 after 20. Podkolzin, there he is, opening up the scoring. Matthew Tkachuk with his first of the series, I believe, tying it. Then Barabanov scoring late on that fourth line to give us a 2-1 lead. Shots 16-12 after 20. Gunther scores early in the second to make it 2-2. After 40, we lead 3-2 as Quinn Hughes put us up shortly after Gunther's goal. Shots are 28-27 for the Coyotes, but we lead 3-2. Power play early in the third period, killed off by Arizona, and then Oliver Kapanen ties the game up at 3 with 15 minutes to go. Shot tied at 32. Next goal could be the winner with how things have been going. I don't want to see overtime again. Power play Vancouver, killed off power play Coyotes, and that's Logan Cooley scoring just as the power play expires. Can we tie it up late with 2 minutes to go? Final minute. And the Coyotes win with 2 third period goals from up 3-2 to losing 4-3. Oliver Kapanen and Logan Cooley. We get outshot 41-35, and the Coyotes win 4-3. Bouillon had 2 assists for third star honors after all that work in Game 2. So we are now up 2-1 with the chance to go up 3-1 with this second opportunity at home. The Hurricanes are up 2-1 over the Bruins. Yes, they are. Let's keep on rolling. No need to touch anything just yet for game number 4 of this Western Conference Final. Looking to go up 3-1 and hopefully have another 5-game series perhaps in store for us. First period ends 1-0 as Lekharmaki scored on an early power play 1 minute and 3 seconds in. We're being out-doubled 14-7 the shots for the Coyotes. Second period, 2-0 as Tippett on the power play puts us up 2-0, but we also come back in the shots, now only down by 3, 23-20. Third period lead by 2. The Coyotes need to fight back soon, but Chinnikov extends it to 3. Will that be enough to put us up 3-1 and have a chance to end it again in 5? Power play Coyotes killed off by the Canucks halfway through the third, and Chinnikov gets his second of the period to make it 4-0. That should be all she wrote. Lundqvist on the power play. That will be it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now up 3-1. A little bit of a scare there, but we are up 3-1, just like the first round, just like the second round. And Hunter Jones, averaging 1 shutout per series, does it again. 27 save shutout for first star honors. Chinnikov scores twice, Lundqvist a goal and an assist, and the Canucks win 5-0 to go up 3-1 and have a chance to end it in Arizona in Game 5. It wouldn't be the same lose, win, 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 win formula, but finishing out in 5 games for a third consecutive series would be great news here in Arizona at Mullet Arena or wherever the arena is now in 2031, with a chance to close it out and return to the Stanley Cup Final for a third time through our 8 years with the Canucks. Let's do it. First period, and it's 2-1 Coyotes. Ratu opens up the scoring, but then Kapanen and Keller make it 2-1 after 20. Shots 11-6 Arizona. Second period, no scoring. Shots 24-18 Arizona, but we still find ourselves down by 1. I'm looking at Markstrom, and you know what? I'm going to look at Rasmussen here in this third period. Let's do it. Down by 1. Lundqvist ties it up. That's okay with me. 2-2. Coyotes power play now killed off. Now a Vancouver power play, and it's Elias Pettersson putting us up 3-2 as the next part of that power play expires afterward. Then Matthew Tkachuk ties it right back at 3 after the Coyotes had allowed 2. 3-3 with 7 minutes to go. Do we have heroics in the final 5, or will we see overtime again? Final 2 minutes. Next one's the winner. Final minute, and we're off to overtime. Shots end 33-28. 2 big goals in the third period for us. Tkachuk answering back to tie it at 3 will be what sends it to overtime. 33-28 are the shots through 60 in Arizona's favor, and we'll have a great opportunity here in overtime. Here in overtime of Game 5, a goal for the Canucks will push them through to the Stanley Cup Final for the 3rd time in the last 6 years and through our 8 seasons with Vancouver. But a goal for the Coyotes will push this series to 6. Logan Cooley, overtime winner with a wrister from distance. Whoa. The Coyotes will live to fight another day with that early OT winner. Just a laser, not even that much of a laser, just a wrister from distance gets by Hunter Jones. Shots end 34-28 for the Coyotes. Just coming in, pass here. Cooley with the shot, right? Just flies by Hunter Jones. Just a normal shot on net. All right, those get through sometimes. Nice shot. Got to give him credit for it. and it goes by Hunter Jones to give the Coyotes the win, making it a 3-2 series now, headed into Game 6 back in Vancouver. This is automatically the longest series of our postseason run so far. And we'll have a chance to book our ticket to the Stanley Cup Final in front of the home fans. Over in the East, the Bruins are up 3-2 over the Hurricanes. Alrighty. So now back in Vancouver for Game 6. We were up 3-2 in Game 5. Tkachuk scored to tie it, then we lost in overtime. So always tough to lose when you have a lead like that and you're so close to just making it through the next round. Let's try and end it here in Game 6 in front of the home fans and book our ticket back to the Stanley Cup Final. First period, and it's 2-2 after 20. Markstrom opens it up, and Hronek gets another to make it 2-0. But then in the final 5 minutes, Boot and Cooley score to make it a 2-2 game, tying it all back up, headed into the next couple periods here. Second period now, 4-2 Canucks, yes! So 2-4, 2 against, and then 2 more for Lekaramaki and Rasmussen answering the call that I gave him last game. And now it's 4-2 Vancouver through 40, being outshot 24-19, but up by 2 and 20 minutes away from the Stanley Cup Final. Here we go into the final 5. Cooley scores his second. He's been scoring a lot in the last couple games here. Power play Vancouver killed off. We're up by 1. Power play Coyotes 5-on-3. And it's Gunther scoring as the power play expires. Hold on, pause a second. 2-4. Next goal may vary, but next. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, but my PlayStation 5 ran into a little bit of a glitch, which is easily fixed, but we lost a few minutes of gameplay. So at the point of where it got cut off, it was a 4-4 game headed into overtime. For some reason, the PlayStation just would not record gameplay any longer. All I had to do was restart the PlayStation, but of course that meant missing a few minutes of what had just happened. So what happened at this point is that we scored 2, conceded 2, scored 2 more, then conceded twice again to head to overtime with a 4-4 game. And in a very anticlimactic fashion, Owen Tippett won it in overtime on the power play, and we are through to the Stanley Cup Final, ladies and gentlemen, to face the winner of the Bruins and the Hurricanes. I'm not sure if we have a winner. Yes, we do! The Bruins are through, and it's a 2011 rematch 20 years later. So really sorry that it's an anticlimactic finish to the Coyotes series. It was pretty tight in overtime. Shesterkin made a few miracles as per usual. We got a power play opportunity, and with a face-off in the offensive zone, Pettersson won it to Tippett, who scored right off the dot, and we win 5-4 in overtime to punch our ticket to our 3rd Stanley Cup Final through our 8 years with the Canucks so far, and our 3rd Cup Final in the last 6 years as well. We lost in 2026, we won in 2028, and now here we are back in 2031. So again, really sorry that we couldn't get the overtime in for that one, but thankfully it wasn't a major glitch, and I found it right away with only missing about, what, like 4 or 5 minutes of content as opposed to the rest of the episode, right? So there we have it, 5-4 win to beat the Coyotes in a 6-game series, and now we will face the Boston Bruins in a 2011 rematch. The Bruins took down the Flyers in 5, the Senators in 6, and then the Hurricanes in 6 to now face us in the final. Let's see our stats now through the first 3 rounds. 5, 5, and 6 games in rounds 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Elias Pettersson is leading the way with 26 points through 16 games. Both he and Lundqvist are tied for the team leading goals with 11. Lundqvist as well, 11 goals, 21 points in 16 games. Last year in the postseason, he was a bit more quiet. Yeah, in 17 games, he had 10 points. Now 1 less game, 11 more points. Look at him. I guess the ice time is very different as well. Actually, a couple more minutes, but there you go. Lundqvist doing very well in the sophomore season. Goes to show what an extra year of experience can do. The captain has 19 points. Then we drop below point per game, but still great totals. Ratu and Markstrom both with 15 points. Markstrom picking it back up. Like Lekaramaki, 14 points, but goals in with 12, shooting at 15.6%. Hronek 11, Rasmussen and Dobson with 10. Tippett 9, including that game winner for his 5th goal. Chinnikov 7, Barabanov and Bouillon with 5, Hanifin, Goldman 4, Peak with 2, Akuratu with 1, and of course Hunter Jones 12, 3, and 1 with 3 shutouts, 926 save percentage, and 2.27 goals against average. Vintage Hunter Jones here, incredible. But now before we look at the Bruins lineup, I think what we want to do is look at their scoring, because they have some high scorers in here. Before we even look at where these players are situated in the lineup, I want to see who their big boys are. David Pastrnak with 16 goals in 17 games. Oh my goodness, 30 points from him. If we can hold back his goal scoring, no one else has more than 8 goals in 7 games. That could be very, very beneficial to us. Almost 2 points per game, though, from Pastrnak. Crazy. Poitras has 25 points. He's the first-line center for sure, I would think. Strome with 19. Data 782 Hall of Famer. Tolvanen has 18. Same for McAvoy. Zacha, Bennett, and then for the goaltending, it is Tarasov, 11, 4, and 1. Not even the craziest numbers either. 83 overall, Daniil Tarasov, 907 save percentage, 2.79 goals against average. It seems to really be David Pastrnak leading that offense with almost a goal per game. Let's check out the line combinations now for Boston. It's Tolvanen, Bennett, and Pastrnak. So Poitras not even the top line center. It's Dawson Bennett, who is the second overall pick in 2028. Franchise potential. Oh my. Pastrnak, Bennett, and Tolvanen on the top line. Second line, Zacha, Poitras, and Strome, Brown, Sharangovich, and Kurashev on the third. Yafalo, Bork, and Konsta-Helenius on the fourth. Defensively, it's Valimaki with Charlie McAvoy, Carlo with Shillington, and Mahura with Jérémy Poirier. And goaltending, of course, Tarasov backed up by 75 overall, Linus Ullmark, who's still one more year at $6.745 million. Woo. Zary, Lind, and Evans, all the healthy scratches for the Bruins. So yeah, it's an incredible top six. Definitely when you look at, well, Pastrnak, Poitras, Strome, those are the leaders. But Bennett can quietly do a lot of damage as well. 97 shooting accuracy. He might only have 8 goals, but that's second in team scoring. And 8 and 17 isn't anything to sneeze at either. The depth seems to be, okay, 10 points, 5 points, 5 points. I don't know, the plus minuses and the points aren't convincing for me on the third and fourth line. So the top sixes are going to be going at it. Hopefully our bottom six can beat their bottom six. Our defense core can beat their defense core. McAvoy has 18 points plus 10-ish. These other pairs, -2, good plus minus on the third pair. And hopefully our goaltending of Jones can beat their goaltending of Tarasov, 84 in Jones versus 83 in Tarasov. So some similarities between our two lineups, but I think they're more reliant on Pastrnak than we are on Pettersson, for example. So in the 2031 Stanley Cup Final, here we go, May 25th, 2031, a rematch 2 decades in the making. After the Bruins beat the Canucks in 7 games in the 2011 Stanley Cup Final, we now have a rematch in 2031. At TD Garden, the 47, 29, and 6 Bruins have home ice advantage versus the 41, 27, and 14 Canucks. We had 6 less wins, but 2 less losses. And through the postseason, if we look at the stats now after this third round, they've played 17 games, we've played 16 games, so 1 less game, scoring at a higher pace, 4.38 versus 4.06, allowing about half a goal less per game, 2.31 versus 2.88. Power play is like 6-7% better. Penalty kill is way better. This might be where we get the Bruins. With their 76.1% penalty kill, that might be where we get them. We're 7-1 at home. Bruins are 6-3. We're 5-3 on the road. They're 6-2. 8-2 in our last 10, 7-3 in their last 10. So let's do it. I like our chances, but anything can happen in the Stanley Cup Final, especially when you have a little goalie voodoo mixed in. Pastrnak going goal per game. They have a lot of high scorers. Their 2 highest scorers have scored more than Pettersson, so it will not be an easy challenge. 2031 Stanley Cup Final starting right here, right now, May the 26th, 2031. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax. First period ends 2-0 Vancouver. Owen Tippett, who scored the game winner against the Coyotes, starts it off with a power play goal in the Stanley Cup Final, and then follows it up with an even strength goal just a couple minutes after that. Shots are 15-10 for Boston after 20, and we have a 2-0 lead back in the Stanley Cup Final. The last time we were here, we were victorious. Since then, hold on, there's Bennett. Second period, 3-2 it ends. So Bennett and then Zacha tying it up at 2, but then Jonathan Lekaramaki restores our lead 3-2 after 40. Heading in the third period, we're being outshot 27-23, but we're up by 1. Like I said, last time we were here, we won in 5 games. Power play Bruins to start the period. We beat the Devils in 5. The year before, Bouillon scores a shorthanded goal as the Bruins were on the power play there. I'm trying to keep all the records in my mind. So yes, we beat the Devils in 5, but then before that we had lost against the Rangers in 5. All right, so we're up by 2 here. 5 minutes ago, power play Bruins. Extended opportunity for Boston. We killed that off. That shorthanded goal was a huge one, and Rasmussen will add the insurance. 5-2 Canucks the final. Shots end 43-28 for the Bruins, but we win a huge Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Hunter Jones makes 41 saves. Owen Tippett scores twice, and Rasmussen a goal and an assist. Owen Tippett, a very quiet presence on this team the last 3 years. Great start to the series. Up 1-0. Despite being outshot on the road, big victory at TD Garden. So with a 1-0 series lead, we'll head into Game 2 on the road. Nothing better than going up 2-0, headed back home for Games 3 and 4. That will be the goal in this one. The Bruins had a lot of shots in the last one. We know that they will still be as hungry as ever. First period of game number 2, 1-0 Bruins after 20. It's Zacha scoring his second of the series. Shots 14-8 for Boston after 20. Second period now, and it's a 2-1 game as we score a goal apiece. Dylan Strome makes it 2-0, but then the captain, Quinn Hughes, gets us back into it, cutting the lead to 1. Shots are 23-14 for the Bruins after 40, and we're only down by 1. Power play Bruins early, that's killed off. Power play for the Canucks now, but Pastrnak scores as our power play expires. That's his 17th. Bruins power play killed off. We're down by 2 with 10 to go now. But hold on, Elias Pettersson brings us back within 1. We have a chance with 8 minutes to go, but Pastrnak with his second power play. Vancouver, can we get another? No, killed off and down by 2 with 3 to go. I don't know if we'll have it in us. The Bruins hang on for the 4-2 victory, splitting the games in Boston. Shots end 40-28 for the Bruins, but Pastrnak scores twice, including the game winner to get first star honors. Strome a goal and an assist, Zacha a goal, and the Bruins take Game 2 to make it a best of 5. All right, win 5-2, lose 4-2, and we're headed back to Vancouver with the home ice advantage now at Rogers Arena. It'll be a best of 5 from here on out, and the fans are going to be excited for this one. Stanley Cup Final action back in Vancouver. Game 3, let's do it. First period, and it's 2-1 Bruins after 20. Michael Rasmussen opens up the scoring a minute and 1 second in, but then Zary and Pastrnak on the power play make it 2-1 after 20. Power play Bruins to start the period, but Aku scores just as the power play expires. Second period ends 5-3 Vancouver. And 4 goals coming in the final 4 minutes between both teams. Rasmussen scores his second of the game. Aku scores his second of the period. So our first 4 goals came from our third line center and our fourth line right winger. So 4 goals from our bottom 6. Then Pettersson makes it 5-2. Then Dawson Bennett gets 1 back with under a minute to go to make it 5-3. Big comeback period. 4-1 Canucks in that period to make it a 5-3 game. Shots 24-22 in our favor. We're up by 2 here, headed into the third period. 2 from Rasmussen, 2 from Aku on a couple of hat-trick watches. Power play Bruins is killed off. Another Bruins power play. This time McAvoy will convert. It's a 1-goal game, but Michael Rasmussen achieves the hat-trick. 6-4 Canucks, the deadline deal, or close to the deadline, I could say, but the late season edition. Michael Rasmussen hat-trick will seal it. 6-4 Canucks the final. Shots end 36-31 for Boston, and we win 6-4. Aku added a couple. Pettersson with a goal and 7 hits. What a night. Michael Rasmussen, take a bow. Stanley Cup Final hat-trick on home ice. Whew, and we're not done with home ice just yet. 6-4 victory, the most goals scored by a team this series. We have home ice advantage once again. 2-1 is the series. We would love to make it 3-1, headed to Boston, and we'd only need to win 1 more of those next 3. But let's not start counting those chickens just yet. June 1st, 2031, Game 4 of the Cup Final with a 2-1 series lead. Huge 6-goal effort last game, but 5 goals coming from our bottom 6. We got to see more from our top 6 if we want to keep the sustained level. Let's do it. First period ends 3-0 Vancouver. They answer the call. Owen Tippett opens it up. Noah Dobson, who we had picked up at the halfway point in a risky deal, continues to pay dividends, and Vasily postseason Podkolzin makes it 3-0 Canucks. 3-0 after 20 now. Second period, and it's 3-0 it remains. Shots 25-16 in our favor through 40. It's going to be a huge third period as Boston needs to fight their way back. Pasternak's been scoring a lot of their goals, but Lundqvist makes it 4. His first career Stanley Cup Final goal. Dylan Strome breaks the shutout with 15 minutes to go. We still have a 3-goal lead. Make it 4 as Pettersson reestablishes the 4-goal cushion. 5-1 Vancouver into the final 6 minutes now. Shots in our favor, up by 4. That'll be all she wrote. 5 games in round 1, 5 games in round 2, 6 games in round 3, and we are now up 3-1 over the Bruins with the possibility to end it in Game 5 back in Boston. Hunter Jones makes 27 saves. Tippett and Pettersson a goal and an assist apiece. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves up 3-1 and 1 win away from Lord Stanley's Cup. Funnily enough, as I said before, we lost to the Rangers in 5, we beat the Devils in 5, and now we have a chance to beat the Bruins in 5. Back in 2011, the Canucks choked a 3-2 series lead as they lost games 6 and 7 to the Bruins. But now here we are 20 years later with a 3-1 series lead and the opportunity to close it out. We'll have 3 chances to close it out, but let's do it ASAP. At TD Garden would be something special. As they won the Stanley Cup in Vancouver in 2011, now we want to win the Cup in Boston in 2031, doing it on their home ice. Gentlemen, Game 5, 2031 Stanley Cup Final, 1 win away. First period, and it's 2-2 after 20. Dylan Strome opens it up on the power play. Another bottom 6 goal. Welcome to the party, Tom Goldman tying it up. Zacha makes it 2-1 Bruins, and then Stefan Markstrom, the Silver Surfer, makes it 2-2 after 20. Shots 12-8 in our favor. Heading into the second period now, I think I'm just going to let the simulation run. Power play early, killed off by the Bruins. Controller down, just letting it go. Let's see what happens here in the second period with this score all tied up. Fredrik Lundqvist puts us ahead 3-2 now at the halfway point of this game. The 19-year-old sophomore with what might end up being the biggest goal of his young career so far, putting us up 3-2 here in Game 5 of this Cup Final. But then Shillington with 2 seconds left scores on Jones to tie it at 3. Shots are 23-19 after 40, all tied at 3. We're now just 20 minutes away. If we win this period, we win the Cup. If the Bruins win this period, they push a Game 6 in Vancouver. Third period action, gentlemen. The stage is yours. 5 minutes in early, nothing on either side. But look, Karamaki puts us up 4-3. He's been here before. He was just a rookie with this Cup squad back in 2028. But then Yafalo ties it at 4. Halfway through this third period, we're back and tied up once again. It's been back and forth throughout this entire game with 5 minutes left. The next one might be the winner. Minute to go, final seconds, and we will see overtime. Shots end 32-31. We're all tied up at 4, headed to overtime. Oh, just take a second to breathe. So in 2028, we won with our old core, Kuzmenko, Miller, all those players. A few players have stuck around for this next wave, even though it's only 3 years later. Pettersson, Hughes, Hronek, Ratu, Hanifin, Lekaramaki, Podkolzin, Jones. I believe that would be 8 of our 18 skaters out on the ice tonight, leaving 10 who would love to do it with Vancouver for the first time here in 2031. Overtime action, let's hit it. Overtime in Boston. A goal for Vancouver will win them the 2031 Stanley Cup and their second in franchise history, redeeming themselves from the 2011 choke when they fell in 7 to the Bruins. But a goal for Boston will push this series to 6 back in Vancouver. Hughes now up to Lundqvist. The 19-year-old sophomore, we've said it many times before. Here's Hughes. Oh, sprawling save from Tarasov on the captain who was trying to end it for his team. He raised Lord Stanley in 2028 as captain. He wants to do it again, this time in Boston. He was around when he first joined the team. A lot of the remnants of that squad that lost in 2011 was still around. Lundqvist has some space on the wing, gets it on net. Pettersson, the point for Hughes through traffic, and that hit a couple bodies as Tarasov went sprawling, but I don't think it ever made its way to him. Strome, Zacha, big save there from Jones. He's been here before. The last time Jones was in the Stanley Cup Final, he was riding the greatest postseason run by a goaltender in NHL history, and he's been pretty good so far. Here's Tippett. We're going to defense change. Tippett squeezes by. Markstrom with a chance. With Ratu on this game on his stick. That stopped in tight. Not quite a breakaway, but he was all alone in tight. Brown across to McAvoy. Has some space. Big save by Jones as he has to go stretching for that one as well. Carlo. Sharangovich with space. Power play coming up. No. 2 for... Was it slashing there? To Michael Rasmussen. 2 for slashing, and the Bruins are off to the power play. Yeah, little slash there from Rasmussen. Alright, Bruins power play. There's Pastrnak with 34 points, and Pettersson with 32 right behind him. You would think it's Pastrnak or Pettersson for the Conn Smythe. Will it be decided tonight? Defensive zone draw. Bruins 1 for 1 on the power play tonight with 2 shots, by the way. Bolvin in. Good pass to Zacha. Breakaway with a chance for him. Glove save, Jones. Oh, terrible defensive effort there as Zacha received the pass and then just went off to the races, no problem. But Jones stood his ground. Bruins get that puck off the draw. Kershev, Bennett from the point, glove save Jones. To Connor Brown, to Bennett. I think that hit his own man. Scores! Oh my goodness, what? I think it was a delayed penalty. Hit off a player. I think that was it Dawson who had it? Hit off his own guy and then Sticks going through the boards, the skates going through the boards. Oh, goodness. Weird play there. Tough sequence. The Bruins win now in overtime. Sorry for the lackluster call. I was confused by the puck bouncing around a couple places there. But the Bruins live to fight another day as Philip Kurashev. So it hit someone in the back of the legs. Yeah, there was the arm went up. There was a delayed penalty. So my eyes were trying to look in like 3 places at once. Delayed penalty, and then rebound in front. The puck had hit off of Kurashev even? I don't know. Weird play in tight, but the Bruins win, technically on a delayed penalty there. Shots end 37-35, and the Bruins win 5-4 in overtime. We won't be able to win the Stanley Cup at TD Garden in Game 5. Maybe in 7, but we don't want to let it get there. We have a chance now to close it out in Game 6, back at home at Rogers Arena. As great as it would be to win in Boston, when we won the Stanley Cup in 2028, it was in New Jersey. So Vancouver has never seen a Stanley Cup won at home. This is a great chance to do it. Game 6 of the 2031 final. No reason to stop, no reason to tweak anything. Maybe a quick little pep talk here for the squad. Like I said earlier, 8 of 18 had won the cup with us back in 2028, but 10 of them fresh players. Some with cups, some without, most of them without. Lundqvist here in his sophomore season looking for his first Stanley Cup. Pettersson, Lekaramaki, Ratu, they've done it before. Tippett in his 3rd season with us. He joined us after we won the Stanley Cup. He's yet to win any hardware with us. He's been consistent, 60-plus points each year. Markstrom, of course, the huge story with him being disrespected by the Canadiens organization. The first overall pick in 2025. Here he is with his first chance for the Cup to stick it to the Canadiens as well. Podkolzin, he has his ring. Rasmussen wants it. Chinnikov wants it. He was actually, I forgot to mention this, he was on the Avalanche team that eliminated us last year and lost to the Bruins in the Stanley Cup Final. So it's not just the storyline of the Bruins having beaten us 20 years ago, is that the Bruins are also defending Stanley Cup champions, trying to go back-to-back. Chinnikov was on the Avalanche squad that beat us in the Western Conference Final and then lost to Boston. And on the 4th line, Akuratu, Atu's brother, joining him here in Vancouver, wanting to win a Stanley Cup together. Goldman, and then of course Barabanov, he won a Stanley Cup with Nashville. He's the only player on our squad who didn't win a cup with us in 2028, who won a Stanley Cup elsewhere, I believe. So Barabanov with a little bit of experience on that 4th line. Defense, Hughes, Hronik, Hanifin, they've done it before. Dobson taking a gamble and leaving the team that drafted him, as the Islanders seem to be on a very downward spiral. Comes to Vancouver, has an exponential growth in offense, and 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. Hanifin in his 7th season with us, looking for a 2nd ring. Bouillon in his sophomore year. Andrew Peak, who had never seen the postseason before. Only these 2 seasons of this 2-year contract that he signed here in Vancouver. And of course, Hunter Jones, who's carried us here before. 1 win from carrying us to another one again. Gentlemen, look to your left, look to your right. Some of you remember that glorious day 3 years ago when we won that Stanley Cup. But this time, there's something different. This time, we want to win the Stanley Cup for the fans here in Vancouver. 60 years later, 1 Stanley Cup, but none ever at home in front of the fans. We owe it to them. We've built a great squad here. 3 Stanley Cup Finals in 6 years. But the job's not done yet. We lost 1 in Boston. All right. Down 3-2. Some of you have been here long enough that you remember hearing the whispers around the arena of what happened in 2011. Pettersson, Hughes. They've been here long enough to remember those whispers. We have a chance tonight not only to do it for the fans here in Vancouver, but to redeem ourselves 2 decades later from the embarrassment suffered against this Bruins squad. They're defending Stanley Cup champions. They're not going to go quietly. We've been up 3-2 before. This time, we end it. This time, we end it. Game 6, Stanley Cup Final, controller down, 1 win away. Let's do it, gentlemen. Go out there and do it for the fans here in Vancouver. The Sedin twins in attendance, Alex Burrows, Ryan Kessler, Roberto Luongo in attendance. We are going to stand tall, not for just for the fans, but for this franchise's honor. Dylan Strome does score late with 1:45 left in the first period, being outshot 12-9 through 20. And it's 1-0 Boston. Second period, Noah Hanifin with a rare goal. Just a few seconds in, and Barabanov, he's been here before. So, and then Bouillon makes it 3-1. Hold on a second. Tolvanen makes it 3-2. 4 goals in the first 4 minutes. Power play Vancouver. That's killed off by the Bruins. Halfway through this game, we're now up by 1. What a crazy start to this period. After a slow start in the first, we come out with a vengeance in the second. 3 minutes to go until we get to the intermission. And my goodness, we made it. All right, Noah Hanifin opens it up 41 seconds in, a rare goal from the veteran. Barabanov down on the fourth line. We brought him in for some of that veteran scoring in the bottom six. He has that Stanley Cup ring with Nashville already. He got one to put us ahead 2-1. And then the sophomore, Maxime Bouillon. Is that just his first goal of the postseason even? I'm not sure, but right now it's the go-ahead goal, and it would be the biggest of his young career so far, as 30 seconds after, Data 782 Hall of Famer Eli Tolvanen made it 3-2. All right, we're up by 1 for the third and final period, 20 minutes away from our second Stanley Cup in franchise history. Third period, Jonathan Lekaramaki on the power play. Then Pastrnak answers right back like 19 seconds later. It's a one-goal game once more. 12 minutes to go. Lekaramaki's power play markers the go-ahead goal at the moment. Power play Vancouver killed off by the Bruins. Into the final 5 minutes of this one now. Let's slow it down a little bit. In the final 2 minutes, 2.5 to go with a one-goal lead. Bruins presumably pulling the goalie. Shots 33-31 into the final minute and a half. Up by 1 thanks to Lekaramaki's power play marker. Final minute now. 39 seconds to go. Final 20 seconds. And we're going to hop in with this game not over yet. Shut it down, gentlemen. Shut it down. 30 seconds to go. And we have the one-goal lead. Canucks win it back. Here's Hanifin. He's going to kill some time around the neutral zone. Hold on, power play! Yes! Power play! Interference! Who's getting this? Kurashev 2 for interference! That might be enough to end it! As the Bruins have to pull their goalie just to get it back to even strength. As Kurashev yes, interference! He wasn't anywhere close to the puck! And now we have the man advantage with an offensive zone faceoff with 23.9 seconds to go. Will that be enough? 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. Pettersson pushes off the dot. Dobson, Hughes, just kill that time. Kill that clock, gentlemen. Give away to Sharon Govich. Here come the Bruins back the other way. 15 seconds. They're going to dump it in. Final rush from them. 10 seconds. Can the Canucks get this out? Hughes will exit the territory. Will it be enough? Will the Bruins have one more charge? I don't think they will. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever in Vancouver, the Vancouver Canucks are your Stanley Cup champions. A 41-win season. And it results in the second Stanley Cup in franchise history, the first one in Vancouver. Redemption 2 decades later, eliminating the Boston Bruins, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, eliminated in 6 by the Canucks. A second ring for 8 players, a first ring for 10. Will it be Pettersson? Yes, it will be Elias Pettersson and his 32 points, winning the Conn Smythe Trophy. Look at that beard. I want to get to see the Silver Surfer and how he looks with the Stanley Cup as well. For the first time in franchise history in Vancouver, 60 years later. And there she is, Lord Stanley. The 3 times made to the Stanley Cup Final. We either won 41 or 42 games. But as we said, it wasn't a real 41-win season. We were stronger in a lot of ways. Big Gary's coming out now to call him over. The Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win in all of sports. I've been waiting a very long time to deliver it in the fine city of Vancouver. Quinn Hughes, come on up here. It is your honor. Raises the cup in Vancouver. Quinn Hughes in Vancouver as captain. The second cup in franchise history. Vancouver raising it in British Columbia. Next up, let's get... Oh boy, let's get the Silver Surfer in here. I've been waiting a long time to see Stefan Markstrom. I want to see him. There he is with the silver afro. Stefan Markstrom raising the Stanley Cup, the first overall pick in 2024, 2025, disrespected by the Canadiens organization, comes to Vancouver and 2 years later gets to raise Lord Stanley as a champion, the future first-line center of this organization. Next up, you want to see Pettersson, you want to see the other guys too, but we did get to see them a couple of years ago. I definitely want to see some new players too. Noah Dobson up next. Comes to Vancouver in half a season at over a 70-point pace, has found redemption, has found new life, rejuvenation in Vancouver, and gets to win his first Stanley Cup after all those years with the Islanders, going downhill. They wanted to move him. He was happy to go, and he finds new life, rejuvenation with the Canucks organization. And finally, we got to go to 84 overall Hunter Jones, one of the greatest goaltenders in all of our franchise modes ever, I would think, since NHL 18. Hunter Jones, from a random third goalie pickup to now carrying us to 2 Stanley Cups. Hunter Jones, take a little skate, buddy. You deserved it. Wow. What a squad. So many others we want to see raise the Stanley Cup. Like Karamaki, Hannafin, so many other veterans. We'll see them right here. Ryan Suter as associate coach in there somewhere as well. Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, break out the pictures, take a screenshot, and snap a picture. It'll last a lifetime. Stanley Cup champions, Vancouver Canucks. There we are. Let's see those beautiful names engraved on Lord Stanley. Quinn Hughes, captain. Barabanov, Bouillon, Chinnikov, Dobson, Goldman, Hannafin, Hronik, Jones, Lekaramaki, Leonov, Lundqvist, Markstrom, McIsaac, Neighbors, Peak, Pettersson, Podkolzin, Rasmussen, Ratu and Ratu, Suchanek and Tippett. Atu and Aku Ratu. How beautiful is that? Suchanek didn't have a single appearance with us, but he gets his name on the cup. Alrighty. Shots end 34-32. Lekaramaki's power play goal ends up being the cup-winning goal as we win it in 6 games at home. 2031 Stanley Cup champions, our second title through 8 years here in Vancouver since taking over. What a 30-episode ride it's been so far. Still more to come. Let's start wrapping this all up. Still a lot to think about for the postseason. Let's start wrapping things up. There's the playoff tree in the end as we went 5-5-6-6 through the 4 rounds. If we look at the team stats in the end, the power play and the penalty kill definitely came through for us. Of course, as we had the, if we look at the entire league, of course, we had the 16 wins. Goals for at 4.36. Goals against at 2.55. Power play at 26.3%. Of course, it's tough when you're dealing with teams that have such small sample sizes, but we really had the best at 26.3 compared to any team that made it beyond round 2. And the penalty kill at 87.7. Huge improvement from the 80.2 we had in the regular season. So, of course, again, considering the sample size, by far the best in the postseason for pretty much everything. Goals for, goals against, special teams, a well-deserved Stanley Cup. In the end, if we look at the stats, Elias Pettersson, 32 points and the first Conn Smythe of his career as Mark Stone won it back in 2028. 32 in 22, 14 goals, getting his Conn Smythe, well-deserved. Frederick Lundqvist, 13 goals and 25 points from the 19-year-old sophomore in his second postseason berth. The captain scored 24 in 22. Lekaramaki and Markstrom both scored 20 points. Ratu with 18. Michael Rasmussen, a huge surprise for us as he scored, we said 10 points in 41 games. He then scores 17 points in 22 games. So he really turned it on for the postseason. A great acquisition in the end worked out for us. I always love those pickups the most, so I'm really happy that Rasmussen worked out. All of these guys really worked out for us this year. Rasmussen, Dobson, he had 16 points in 22 games. Tippett scored 15, a nice quiet 8 goals scored from him, which was tied for 4th most on the team. So there you go. Same for Ratu with 8 goals. Love it. There's Tippett. Podkolzin, 14 points. That's a career high in postseason points, I believe. A bit slower on the goal scoring. Yeah, he's 7 in 22, 7 in 17. This year, 6 in 22. Still shooting at 15.4%, but the 14 points, the most of his career. Wow, so postseason Podkolzin came through again. It's not just a fluke. 3rd consecutive postseason where he comes through in a huge way. Just a crazy divide between his regular season pace and his postseason pace. Filip Hronik gets another Stanley Cup ring in Vancouver, 14 points from him. Chinnikov, 11 points in 22 games. That's a 41-point pace in an 82-game season. So again, another player who picked it up as he was on, what did we say? A 30-point pace through 19 games. So there you go. He had scored 7 in 19. Now he scored 11 in 22. Goldman at 9 points. There you go, Tom Goldman. Get your ring. Barabanov gets another ring for him. 8 points in 22 games. Bouillon with 8 points, including a couple of goals that were surprising. Plus 10 as well. Hannafin, 6 points. Aku Ratu, 4 points. Brothers winning the Stanley Cup. I'm not sure first time since when, but brothers winning the Stanley Cup together. Always great and bringing a tear to your eye. Andrew Peak with 3 assists and a plus 7 getting his first ring. And of course, Hunter Jones ends 16, 4 and 2. 3 shutouts, 922 save percentage, 2.55 goals against average, just furthering his case for the Data 782 Hall of Fame. If you look at his career postseason stats, yes, he had the 4 appearances where it was just a disaster last year, but through 48 appearances, 33, 10, and 4 with 11 shutouts, 927 save percentage, and 2.4 goals against average through 48 appearances in his postseason career. Just, you can't make this stuff up. Hunter Jones, what a legend. Once again, winning the Stanley Cup in a 22-game run, going 16, 4, and 2. 5 less shutouts, but I'll still take those numbers from Hunter. Hunter Jones. All right. So there's the postseason that was, and now we'll slowly start looking forward to the offseason that will be. As before, and there we go, Vancouver Stanley Cup champions, and we lost in the AHL to the eventual Calder Cup champions, Ontario Reign. As before in 2028, when we won the Stanley Cup, we knew it was with the old core. Miller was moving out. Kuzmenko was moving out. We wanted to try our best to run it back if possible, but it didn't work out. Quick little rebuild, here we are. Now, this is a different situation where we are most certainly going to be looking to contend again in 2032 for the Stanley Cup next season. So the awards are done. Let's check those out. I'm not sure if we were really thinking about any of them. We'll still take a little look here. So Stanley Cup, President's Trophy went to the Devils. The Bruins were in their third, actually, yeah, it was their third consecutive Stanley Cup final. Wow. So they lost to Nashville, won, and then lost now to Vancouver. Wow. McKinnon won the Art Ross and the Hart. James Norris to Cale Makar for the third straight year. Lady Byng to Jack Hughes. Calder to Greening in Calgary. Conn Smythe to Pettersson. President to Thompson in Edmonton. So you know what? It probably worked out that he was injured in round one. No voodoo got us there. And thankfully we made it through and went on to win the Cup. Knight and Salmonen winning the Jennings in Columbus. Bertuzzi, is this Clarence Bertuzzi? Yeah, Clarence Bertuzzi winning the Bill Masterton in Pittsburgh. The coach of the Hurricanes winning the Jack Adams. Selke winning Connor Bedard. Lindsay to McKinnon, and Maurice Richard to Mikko Rantanen. In the AHL, any awards there? Yes, as we had Muller, Rainer Muller, the equivalent of the Vezina Trophy. Great news there. Hopefully he'll be fighting for some NHL minutes sooner rather than later. So at this point, we'll go ahead and sim to the draft. We'll see what happens between now and June 23rd. Retirements and whatnot. The LA Kings jumped from 7 to 1 in the standings, while the Islanders, ouch. The worst team in the league dropped from 1 to 3. I think there's a franchise prospect up for grabs as well. Ouch. That really hurts the Islanders. No need to do any interviews or anything. We want to see the retired players, though. Will Barabanov call it a career? I don't see him. Brad Marchand retires at 43 years of age, scoring 1,430 points in 2 games shy of 1,500. Erik Karlsson played over 1,500 games, retiring with 1,330 points. 41 years old. Scheifele, we retired Huberdeau and Lindholm by beating them against Calgary. Dougie Hamilton, former Canuck, retires. Riley, Monahan, Zucker, Wilson, Raquel, actually, and Jones, both in our organization. They both retire. Seth Jones could have stuck around. Both in our organization, but never played a game. Actually, Jones played 1 game for us. But that's it there. Yeah, Barabanov retires as a Stanley Cup champion. Makes sense to me. 622 points from him in his career, down to a 75 overall. He retires after playing 815 games as a Stanley Cup champion. Anyone else out here? Yafalo retires. We retired him after he made it to the Stanley Cup final, but couldn't go all the way. And that does it for the forwards. Goaltenders, Linus Ullmark retires after losing in the Cup final. 316 wins in his career. 37 years of age. Binnington, Comrie, Riddick, Copley, Pettersson. A few other goalies there retiring. Petruzalek in Abbotsford retired. Any Vancouver retirements? No. Okay, that's good. Draft interviews, no need. Pro Scout calling. We'll keep him on the phone for a second. All right, now here we are at the draft, ladies and gentlemen. So time to start thinking about what our team will look like in 2031-32 headed into year number 9. We want to stay as strong as possible. At bottom 6, we need a little bit of a revamping. If we look at the draft board coming up, we do have the 27th overall pick from the Blackhawks, then the last pick in the second round of our own, Tampa's 3rd, our 4th, and then no pick till the 7th. So only 5 picks, 4 picks in the first 4 rounds, only 5 picks in the draft. Pick number 27 in the first round. Let's see how the first round looks. I know there was a franchise prospect going first overall. Yeah, here we go. Aikson. Philip Aikson, medium franchise. Similar to Wayne Gretzky. Oh, that's the best you get. That's once every 10 years you might get one of those prospects. Oh, the Kings are going to have. And in our division, great. Philip Aikson going first overall to LA, it looks like. Oh, boy, that's going to hurt. All right, so down at 27. Not much. Could get Jude Ryan, medium top 4D. Maybe someone like Aiden Baker, 3 years away, medium top 6 playmaker. Same for Shannon Conroy. And there's also medium top 9s. No, we have to trade down after that. Medium top 6, Tero Kuka? Maybe. Tero Kuka could be interesting. Medium top 6 power forward. Ace shooting already. Medium top 4 defensive defenseman Uljevic, 2 years away at 18 years old. Cameron Keefe, medium top 6 power forward gem, also ace shooting, 3 years away. A bunch of medium top 6. Stéphane Lebel, 3 years away. Chris Henrik, gem, 3 years away. A bunch, yeah, the guys, all these medium top 6 forwards, medium top 4D, why are they always here? And they're ranked higher than all those medium top 9 forwards. So yeah, a lot of medium top 4D and medium top 6 forwards there in the second round. But if we wanted to draft in the first round, it would probably be Baker or Ryan, unless we trade up for someone up here. But no one really stands out to me. All top 6 forwards who you could also get in the second round. If we're just looking at NHL ETA, anyone out of the ordinary? No, everyone outside of the top 5 picks are 2 to 4 years away. So no silly NHL ETAs anywhere. Okay, good to keep in mind. This guy 2 years away. Who's this? Uljevic was 2 years away. Yeah. So nothing too wild in the draft at the top in terms of that we want to like trade up for. A lot of options in the second round though. There are a few goalie options here. Samuel Breitkruz. Someone's got to help me out on that one. 19 years old, 5 years away. Then there's Rickard Karppinen, also 5-year away, medium elite goalie. Sergei Voinov, medium elite two-way forward, will pick him up. Henry Fair, 5 years away, medium elite goalie, but he's 20. Georges Legault, 19 years away, again, medium elite goalie, 5 years away. Ilya Bobrovsky, 5-year away, medium elite goalie, 19. So there's a lot of goalies here. Even Cole Wesley, 5 years away, medium elite goalie, who's 18. So that's more valuable to me than someone who's 20. Savatsky, a gem, medium elite goalie gem. Again, 5 years away, 18 though. So wow, a lot of medium elite goalies. I don't want to draft all of them. I would think maybe we take 2. So who are the 2 you would want then? Of all the medium elite goalies, who are the 2 we go after? Then we have some low elites here. Ned Campbell, Hungarian. Martikainen, Sean O'Dell, low elite gem. A bunch of low elites late in the Ryan Jackman going late. Interesting. Yeah, so some good depth. We don't have a ton of picks, but I wouldn't mind trading like the second and the third for a handful of 4ths and 5ths or whatever if we want to target some of these lower guys out here. Guaranteed low top 6s later on. I'd love to have more, but we just don't have a lot of picks. And unless we're thinking about trading out value, we don't have much to trade out as Jones and Barabanov, all these guys is retired. We don't have much to trade out. We'll look at progress reports in a moment, just all expiring. Rasmussen could be an expiring deal we move out. Maybe Hanifin we move out at this point, or just let him expire. I don't know. Rasmussen would want, okay, 2.6 to stay as a bottom sixer. Hanifin wants 5 million, would come down to the 4s, but he's 34 now. We won him 2 Stanley Cups. He's been a huge part of our team, so consistent. But is it time to move on from him because we can't guarantee second pair minutes anymore? We would need Bouillon to move up to the second pair, but is he ready for that? Andrew Peak would want probably too much for my liking. Andrew Peak probably walks. Jake Neighbors probably walks. I don't think he'd even want to come back. Sean Couturier got his name on the cup, but I don't know if he'll come back at bottom 6 potential. Lebedev could come into the NHL maybe. Akuratu. Oh yeah, we'll look at the prospects in a moment. So those are the all expiring. How many of those would get traded maybe as like just, you know, get a 7th round pick back? There could be a couple. Progress reports now. So in the NHL, sorting by overall. So Lundqvist up to a 90 overall. Great to see that growth from him. Dobson at an 89 at the moment. Things could change for next season still. Hronik at an 84 as we had seen. Nothing else for major changes it looks like. Just Hanifin down to an 82 as we had said. Yeah, nothing else. Goldman down to a 79. That makes a lot of sense. Goldman, I don't know about Goldman. If he'll just stay as 4th line center forever, I guess. Marsham down from a 92 to a 90, but doesn't show anything for the modifications. Okay. Looking in the system now, we have some good growth here. Alexandrov up to a 73 overall medium elite. He'll be in the NHL within a couple of years, I would think. Arcabello medium elite up to 70. Kravchenko medium elite, low elite up to 72. Beaufet 69. Wallace, who we got from the Blackhawks, he'll be in the NHL possibly next season. Yeah, he's a top 6 defenseman. So I think Christian Wallace is in the NHL next year. 52 points in 59 games in the OHL. Christian Wallace could be there for sure. And he's an offensive defenseman, so I wouldn't want him playing with Bouillon probably. Hard to say. Naslund also up growing in overall. That's great to see. Muller up to a 77. If we're sorting by overall, we see Wallace right. Beaulieu up to a 78. Raphael Beaulieu, the enforcer, 6'5" enforcer with great puck skills, it looks like. So that's good. His physical is solid with a 99 strength. Dylan Montoya up to a 78 also. 4th line forward he's listed as. What did he do? 114 points in 72 games in WHL. So Dylan Montoya might be pushing. Maybe Cody Brown's a guy who gets traded. Franklin Quint doesn't want to grow. Maybe he gets traded. Oh, and forgot to look at goalies. We have a lot of goalies in the system. Suchanek probably would just trade him out. Muller's at a 77. Could he make it? Who are the 2 goalies in the AHL next season? Esch was a backup this year with medium lead potential. He's 20. Kavanov's 19. Baikov's 20. He's 1 overall higher. Zubov's 22. He's a 67. Do we want Zubov at this point? I don't know. What did he do this year? He was in Russia. He played a lot of games. Numbers weren't great, but he was a starter, playing in 48 appearances. Yuri Zubov. Okay, a lot to consider. So the lineup next season, for players under contract right now, potentially would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Top 6 stays the same. Does Chinnikov stay as third-line winger? That's possible. Does Rasmussen come back? I don't know. Podkolzin's great, but I don't know if he's a third-liner in the regular season. Neighbors is a question mark. Tyupkin will come up. Goldman, fourth-line center. So, again, counting in my mind would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Podkolzin 8, Tyupkin 9, Goldman 10, maybe Rasmussen 11, but then if we look in the system, Akuratu, Beaulieu could be a fourth-line enforcer, Montoya wants to make a push to the NHL, you would think, maybe Dominguez has a jump, maybe Cody Brown gets traded though at this point. I would think the forwards are probably spoken for, especially if you consider Montoya and Beaulieu. Raphael Beaulieu, what did he do this year? 7 goals, 16 assists, 105 penalty minutes. He would be great for the fourth line. Drafted 223rd overall. The last pick of the 2027 draft. So he could play fourth line. Maybe Montoya tries to find a way onto the third line. Playmaker drafted in the fourth line. Drafted in the fourth round. I don't know. And then if we think about defense, 1, 2, 3 under contract. So guaranteed Hughes and Hronek stay together. Dobson's on the second pair with whoever's on the left, and then the third pair is who? Bouillon still 78 overall. If he simulates well, do we bump him up, or do we say, he's stagnating, time to move on from him? I don't know. Maxime Bouillon, I want to at least keep him for the start of the year. So if Bouillon is in there, that gives us 4. If Wallace is in, which you would think is a lock, that's 5. And that leaves a 6th spot for a few options again. Arvidsson, low elite, does he make a jump? Quint, does he finally see some growth? Since being drafted, hasn't grown a single overall in 2 years since being drafted. Maybe he grew from 76 to 77, but still, even Naslund here, Alexandrov's growing, Kravchenko's growing. I don't know if I want to make a big signing on defense. If we bring in a new second pair left D, then can we have Bouillon and Wallace both as offensive defensemen on the third pairing? The defense is definitely a conundrum. Lebedev's out there as well. If we're looking in pending free agents, just to see who might drop, sorting by UFA, looking first at forwards, looking through overall, huge names, absolutely, but I think the top 6 is already spoken for. If anybody, it would probably be a third-line scorer. Maybe a guy like a Forsberg, a Lusterainen, even Kulich is listed as a third-liner. Bourgault, Mantha, Serdeev, Kaliev, Caden O'Brien, there he is. Lysell, I don't know. And then if we look at defense, not a ton that's out there. Mikey Anderson might be there. Siegenthaler, Hervery, Forsling, Morrissey. Not a ton on the left side, but some options. They'd definitely be costly. And a reminder that we would have about $24 million to play with. Goaltenders are good to go, correct. Hunter Jones is signed on for another year. Then Leonov needs a contract. He wants a lot. Long term, he wants a lot. So 1 year, $2 million. After that, he wants a big contract. So we could qualify him and wait for him. Or we could say, hey, we have other goalies in the system. Muller's going to get a contract. Maybe Muller becomes our backup next year. We let Leonov walk. Then our AHL tandem could be 2 of 3 of Zubov, Baikov, and Esch. A lot to think about in a very lengthy episode here. Apologies, everybody, for the length of this one. When you go on a Stanley Cup run and then have a lot to think about for the offseason ahead, it's always going to be a long one. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a long enough episode, so I'll end it off there. Stanley Cup champions for the second time through our 8 years with the Canucks. Enjoy your day with the Cup. Let me know how you'll spend it. And, of course, leave a like if you haven't already for an incredible postseason run. There are definitely more episodes behind us than in front of us with this Canucks series, as we have now completed 30 episodes. We're not done yet. At least I would think a few more seasons to go. We've won a couple cups, but we want to turn this team into a dynasty. We did right by our core, moved out the pieces, brought in new ones. This is our first cup of the new generation. Now we want to turn this core into a dynasty for years to come. How are we going to do it? That's what I got to hear from you down here in the comments on YouTube or over on the Discord server, link in the description. All of you assistant general managers, let me know your thoughts on the offseason ahead. I'll wait a few extra days to let you get your thoughts in, but in the meanwhile, we'll have our 2 live stream series going on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern, And keep an eye out, the Macklin Celebrini career simulation coming your way as soon as the draft lottery results are in that like first week of May or so. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already to be made aware of all of our uploads, including our various franchise mode series, ongoing breakdowns and analyses of the real-world NHL postseason, and of course, career simulations with the Macklin Celebrini sim coming as soon as results of the draft lottery are released. Thanks again for watching, and I'm looking forward to reading all of your thoughts and suggestions and seeing you once again in the next one to start our Stanley Cup defense.